Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I expected to get into this entire video commentary and respond to this idea. I was like kind of fuming. I saw the video pop up on my Twitter and my first instinctual reaction was, how dare he? How dare somebody go out there and question the integrity of the Vancouver Canucks hockey team? How dare one of the biggest agitators in the NHL go out there and call out our precious little Pookie here in Van? And then I watched the clip and I was like, oh, you know, it kind of has a point. And then I kind of laughed a little bit and I was like, yeah, that's a funny thing to go out there and say. So here we are making a video about it. This show, as always, is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Check out the first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel in the process. Today we are talking about Ottawa Senators captain Brady Tkachuk and his recent interview on the Spittin Chiclets podcast, which was dropped earlier this morning. Chiclets episode 547 featuring John Cooper and Brady Tkachuk. It's a long talk about the four nations. They talk about the Capitals and Ovi, the Ranton and Kane situation, etc., etc. There's a lot going on here in the world of hockey that they talk about. But the one clip that was posted on social media by Arj Canucks, Van City AC, features Brady Tkachuk talking about the Quinn Hughes situation in Vancouver. Take a look at this. It's the video. It'll be linked in the description, as well as the quote itself. Obviously, Brady Tkachuk is talking about Quinn Hughes, captain of the Vancouver Canucks, and his eligibility/ineligibility to play for Team USA at the Four Nations face-off. Brady said this, "I actually FaceTimed Quinn when he was figuring it out. I think he was all about coming, but I don't think he got cleared by Vancouver to play." He then says at the end, "It's a little shady business to begin with." And I was like, you know what? The way the quote is phrased and the way the tweet was made, oh, Brady Tkachuk says it's shady business, the way the Vancouver Canucks were conducting their own investigation on Quinn Hughes, whether they should clear him or not. Oh, are you kidding? Brady Tkachuk said it was shady from the Vancouver POV? But then you look at the clip and he's kind of chuckling a little bit while he says it. Yeah, a little shady business on their behalf, eh? Like he kind of says it with that little eyebrows raised attitude, that Svengoolie look into the camera. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I actually do kind of get what he's saying. So at first, I thought that Brady Tkachuk was insinuating that the shady business side of the Vancouver Canucks thing was because Vancouver was, for lack of a better term, kind of dumb. Dumb in the way that they evaluated their players' health. Hey, it's shady business by Vancouver because they said he would play and then he didn't and then he wanted to go and then they didn't clear him, like they didn't really know what was going on there, so it was kind of shady, you know? They're not evaluating their players properly, kind of shady. But no, I think Brady is more alluding to the idea of it being shady that Vancouver, the Vancouver BC-related hockey team, doesn't want to send Quinn Hughes to the Four Nations to play as the best defenseman on Team USA, dethroning Zach Werenski, who was actually the #1 point guy in the entire tournament. He had 6 points in the 4 games. Yeah, Brady's kind of insinuating, yeah, Vancouver just didn't want Quinn to play at the tournament because they didn't want Canada to lose. Now, I get it, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's kind of snarky a little bit, maybe a little bit sour-graping too at the same time, but I'm not gonna go out there and necessarily disagree, which is the crazy part, right? Like, obviously, as a Canadian guy, I know I was born in the Philippines, but I moved here when I was 1.5 years old, and I'm a citizen of Canada by law. So, as a Canadian dude, I can probably say, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want the Vancouver Canucks to do that. Not just from the Canada versus USA point of view, but also from the Quinn Hughes and the Vancouver Canucks point of view. At this point, we're kind of recognizing where the Canucks are in the standings and what kind of a hockey team they have, just how good they really are. Spoiler alert, it's not great. Especially with Quinn Hughes out of the lineup. You've got top stars on the team like Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser underperforming. You traded away the 100-point scorer that you had last year. Thatcher Demko is getting hurt every other game, it looks like. The only top-tier player this year, who hasn't even been healthy himself for a good chunk of the season, has been Quinn Hughes. Like, you can't say anything else about that. Maybe Kevin Lankinen, but he has had some bad stretches here. Quinn Hughes, he's never bad. That's the thing. Never, ever bad. So, Quinn needing the recovery time, needing to take a little bit of extra time off and not really travel across the continent twice before coming back to Vegas and suiting up with the Vancouver team over there, that certainly was not ideal. It wouldn't have been profitable for the Vancouver Canucks to have sent Quinn Hughes from a travel point of view and then from an actual gameplay point of view. He didn't even play against Vegas, nor Utah afterwards. So Brady kind of saying here, yeah, Quinn wanted to play, but they didn't clear him, so it's shady business. Yeah, I get that that comment makes sense from the Vancouver was prohibiting Team USA from getting one of the best players in the world angle, but it's also like, hey, Quinn just really wasn't able to play. I get that you could also say that he wanted to go over to Team USA, support his brothers, maybe cheer up Jack because Jack was falling down at the tournament and he didn't produce all too much either. Maybe Quinn wanted to be a moral support player on the bench. You know what they said about Matthew Tkachuk, right? That Matthew Tkachuk, even though he wasn't able to play the majority of the game against Canada, it's still valuable to have him there because him on the bench, cheering on the guys and being a motivator, that's super valuable. A lot more valuable, apparently, than Kyle Connor playing a full game, which is certainly one of the big decisions that everybody's going to be scratching their heads over when it comes to Team USA and their deployment of the lines and their roster decisions at the Four Nations Face-Off tournament. Maybe Quinn Hughes could have been that guy. Maybe he could have been the moral support D-man to let the other D-men know how it is to play defense and what they should do. Maybe he could give Adam Fox some pointers. I think the guy kind of needs it, just saying. But anyways, with Quinn not being able to go to the Four Nations, it was a good sigh of relief for a lot of Canucks fans. Hey, thank gosh, he's not going to be subjected to this crazy game. We know how intense and how competitive Quinn Hughes can be, so we know he would go all out. He would not hold back in a Canada versus USA best-on-best matchup. Who knows, maybe Quinn Hughes allows the team to win. Maybe USA takes the dub with Quinn Hughes in the lineup, but I guess we'll never know, right? It's just really good because Quinn Hughes probably should not have played anyway. And the extra travel on the body, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want Quinn Hughes to have spent an extra, like a 5-hour flight from Vancouver to Boston and then a 5-hour flight to Vegas or a 6-hour flight, another 11 hours on a plane within the span of 2 days before potentially suiting up with the Vancouver Canucks in practice. Like, that's not something that I think would have been all too profitable there. So, shady business or not, Brady Tkachuk, it still was, I think, the right call. So, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Brady Tkachuk saying that Vancouver pulled off some shady business with Quinn Hughes and their decision to not let him go to the Four Nations face-off? They did not clear him. I think, as we had said, this entire video and the past week or so, that it was a good thing. But do you see some sort of conspiracy here? Do you think there was some sort of element of, oh yeah, Vancouver does not want Team Canada to get a better opponent? Do you think it was more selfish reasons why Quinn Hughes did not go? Vancouver's like, yeah, we don't want Quinn to go travel. We don't think he's ready to play. He isn't ready to play. He didn't play against Vegas or Utah, so what more if he would have been over there for the Four Nations? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you respond to all this and more? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.